الجولز ايه اللي معاك؟
خلينا بس اصبر بقى عليا شويه.
الجولز حضرتك عليها اصلا question whether هي حلال ولا حرام. according to my standards الجولز حرام.
احنا مش لازم
fixed interest whatever happens that's حرام.
اوكي just استنى بس عليا كده بس انا I'm trying to record but I think it's a big video so it's gonna take some time. Okay, let's kick off with this. I don't think anyone else is online. Let's finish this very quickly. So, again, another set of disclaimers, yeah? First of all, I'm not a scholar nor a mufti, yeah? So no one take that as a halal or haram, so I'm not trying to push anything on anyone, and I'm not saying it's haram or halal. Okay? So information here is based on best effort and the result of my personal attempts in the last 3 to 5 years. Yeah. The other statement that I want to say is I have never met or found, even on the web, a scholar who knows or understands what is investment. Yeah, so this is the reality. This is really a huge gap in our Islamic Sharia compliance research. It's not only that. So. Again, bonds is one of the very common topics to talk about. Again, okay. So there is, when we talk about halal criteria, there is two things around halal criteria. There is the transaction and there is the stock. The transaction, which is halal, when you buy and then sell what you bought, what you own. Yeah. If you try to sell first and then buy later, which is what is called short, this is obviously haram. Yeah. There is debate around other stuff like CFD, for example. CFD, for example, is using the margin or the loan from the broker to buy and give you more, and basically are betting. Options is another thing as well. So for simplicity, everything else apart from this is normally non-halal or haram. Let's agree on that.
So why short is not halal?
Because you're sure,
because you own what you don't own.
You don't own.
Because you don't want to buy it again.
No. Basically, the way it works is you borrow it and then directly sell it.
Yes. So you're correcting a mistake that you've done. Why follow the mistake?
I just want to go through details. So it's a big topic. The summary of that topic. This is halal. This is not haram.
This is question.
And I put here a star because that's simplified view. There is some discussion, for example, about something called covered options, a bit technical, so I can talk a lot about that. But long story short, you need to buy and then sell. Even if you buy and sold in the same day, I assume it's already okay as well. So intraday, some people say it's not, but anyway. The other one as well is the stock screening, which is the type of the business that this company is doing. Some say maximum of 5% in any of these will be still okay. So let's say Microsoft. Microsoft does have some business in marijuana business, but that marijuana business is not more than 5%, less than 2% of the business value. Then still halal. Says who? This is the stock screening criteria that has been aligned by the aligned by the Sharia compliance community somewhere. The reference to that. Second one as well is for some specific criteria like hotels, like share trading, like stock brokering, rental, any of these stuff, maximum 20%. Yeah. So for these, maximum 5%.
What's wrong
for
with
these?
hotels?
Sorry?
What's wrong with hotels? Just out of curiosity.
Wine offering
Alcohol, wine, I have no idea, man.
And casinos.
Casinos. Again, look, it's not mine. Anyway. Okay. So there is another sector as well. There is another part of it as well. Financial.
Thanks. Yeah.
Which is the cash over the assets. Also debt over the asset. So long story short is, trying to pick a company which is 100% halal is a really tough.
Microsoft.
Maybe it's
Not
again, no
even-
diversification. This is the other
Not even
point.
Amazon.
This is Amazon is not halal. Was when
Now
then-
it's not.
Yeah, so again. So because this is a very tough thing, there is something called halal stock screening. Basically, if you have Saxo Bank, you can go there and select, you can subscribe to something called Islamic compliance screening, where it can tell you, oh, this is halal, this is haram. Yeah.
It's very
Hmm?
nice feature.
That's cool. That would probably.
It is very cool, yeah.
So they done the homework for you. Why?
They done the homework for you, yeah. Based
Why-
on a company called Idle Rating, which by the way has been founded by one of the iTworks ex-founders. So yeah. But interestingly, and I put this specific slide just to show you this. Have a look at that.
Both.
The same company, one in Swiss whatever currency, and one in US dollar. One is halal and one is not.
Both of them are based in Switzerland.
Based on, yeah, it's the same company, but one is listed in Switzerland and one is listed in New York State. So you can use either. As a stock, you can list. But again, I'm just saying it. Okay, so this looks like the answer, but yeah, guess what? Again,
What is the difference? Same company.
the same company. So this is wrong.
This is wrong.
So I'm challenging that whether actually yes is really yes or no is really no.
I don't
Yeah.
trust the rating.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, I even by saying that, I don't really trust that. Yeah, so this is the point.
A company which is like apparel company, apparel footwear, what's harm?
Because maybe the cash side of things, which you don't know. And this is the other thing as well. When it say no, it doesn't say what. Which again, I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough.
Disney, is that halal or haram? Haram.
Yeah.
So look, the point that I'm trying to say is, trying to pick the right stock according to this criteria is not an easy thing. Even using a stock screener, it's not going to be an easy. The other one is the bonds discussion. There is equivalent to bonds called sukuk, which is a fixed income asset, which is a safer option. But the bad side of things, not widely available, nor traded. Yeah. Starts at 100K. You need to go to ENBD to buy one of these, or someone local.
I thought 200K.
Normally you put 100, and the bank will put another 100 or something like that. So they can do a few of these things. Only available in the second market,
Yeah.
which basically means that you wouldn't know unless someone is selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.5%.
It is very hard to understand. I can tell you I spent about 5 years in the stock market. Bonds and sukuk is one of the things that I don't really understand why is it.
There's no information.
There's nothing. I don't know why it's going up or why it's going down or whatever the scenario is. There's no ETFs for sukuk, but there is funds, for managed funds from Franklin, Templeton, whatever. Yeah, as you can see, the ratio is so high. Also, Emirates Global Sukuk. I tried these guys. I was chasing them. Nothing.
They don't care.
They don't even bother
Yeah.
trying to sell that to you. Yeah, so that's a list of different ETFs available, ETF and funds in general. So these are the only three available at the moment worldwide. They are passive, expense ratio 0.6. They follow a specific index. I tried them a couple of years. Then I pulled out. Maybe I'm wrong. I was using Saxo. It was very expensive to buy them. Very little, very low trades as well. Not many people selling it, and very small size. The size of the fund itself. Yeah. So that means that not many people are using it. Whereas these guys are managed funds. Yeah, and again, very expensive, but it's only available through policies and mainly available in the US. I haven't seen it here. This again, similar to this, started at some point, and then looks like it didn't pick up, no one was buying them, and they stopped it in 2016. Indexes, one of the major indexes is the World Islamic Index. Yeah, very quickly, 513 out of the 1,635. ETF is ISDW. ISDW highlights, few stuff around it, so on. What I really want to do is, again, if you want to do an Islamic portfolio with ISDW, then again, you can do 75 in here and put 25 in cash or sukuk.
How's the performance of ISDW?
So that is the performance with ISDW. The one in orange is BWRT, which is the one that I recommended at the beginning. ISDW is the one in green. Okay? The one in blue is the one in dark red is ISDU, which is the US only. Okay? The one in black is exactly the one in green, but in British pounds. Can you spot the difference? Why the one in green is jumped?
Because the British pound dropped
When?
in 2016.
2016. Because of Brexit.
Okay, so it's only because of the currency, nothing else.
This is just a currency devaluation.
That's right, it's almost the same.
It is exactly the same. It is exactly the same. Because they follow the same stuff in a way.
But it's
Yeah.
magnified because
It's magnified. And this is why I don't like it. Look, I used it for some time and the performance was really rubbish, even compared to other ones. So I pulled out. Maybe I'm just rethinking about whether I should jump in again or not. I'm doing something different, which I'm going to show you. So this is the other one, SP 500 Sharia Index, but there is no ETF for this one. There is a new perspective to ETF, and this is something that I started to adopt 6 months ago or 9 months ago. And then I found recently, again, that someone else is doing it. Rather than think about ETF with only halal stocks, is to think about percentage of halal in normal ETFs. Say, apply the same 5% criteria, thingy, 5 to 10%. So this is, again, and I found this beginning of the year, January. It's a good attempt. Having said so, I looked at what they did. This is an ETF screener similar to the stock screener. So they did an ETF screener, and they, rather than saying this is halal or not halal, they are saying the percentage of halal, non-compliant. It's a good attempt from a theory. Realistically, again, you'll find bonds in here, for example, which is 100% halal. So it is debatable. What I'm saying is, have a look at these two, IUIT, which is the information technology sector, and the IUHC, which is the health sector in the US. Yeah? The idea here is, again, looking at the index that I was talking about, if you notice, 33% of that is IT, and 18% is healthcare. So an interesting one is 50% on the IT, 25% on the healthcare, and 25%. And I did a small exercise as well, looked at the top, let's say, 20 companies. What I found is nearly 5 to 6% is considered non-halal. So I would argue with adding this to the Microsoft stock, you limit the non-halal percentage to very minimal 5% overall. Again, this is the thought that I'm in at the moment. This is what I'm trying to do.
So you can say that again?
So these are ETFs that include all the companies, including halal and non-halal. ف rather than going and finding just an ETF that includes halal stocks, you can buy one of these, and the percentage of non-halal or haram is very limited to 5 to 7%. Again, it's don't take it from me, but again, I'm okay personally on this. Yeah, this is my approach. Yeah.
A new approach.
It's a new approach. And finally, I just want to make sure that as well, again, gamble, again, whatever you do, if you are doing it with neo gambling, then directly, regardless of whatever you are choosing, that becomes haram. Again, be very careful about the astral ban. Zakat, similar to cash, 2.5% over the sum. This is individual company stock based account on the book value, net value, portfolio based account usually on the market value. What I really do is, every Ramadan, I pay my zakat at the beginning of the year. So every Ramadan, I did that already. I record what I had at the beginning of Ramadan last year. So Microsoft stock, let's say I have 100 stocks. I multiply that by the price at the beginning of Ramadan. That gave me the value of that 100 stock. Then 2.5%. I get, so basically, I have an Excel sheet that I record, for example, say last year, beginning of Ramadan, I had, at that day, I had 100 stocks from Microsoft, okay? So I look at today, beginning of Ramadan this year, what is the price of Microsoft stock? Multiply that by 100. So that is the value that I need to give zakat on. Then I multiply that by 2.5%. That is my zakat for this year.
So you are paying the
I
zakat for the value of the stocks, not on the dividend.
No, well, I don't have dividend now. So basically, if you have dividend, you need to consider that. But for simplicity, what I do is I take a milestone every single first of Ramadan. I record exactly what I have. Then I see the value of that the following year. And then I ignore anything in the middle.
ليه you ignore the middle?
Because
ما عندهاش أي سنة.
مظبوط بس what if it drops down?
it drops, I ignore as well. I tell you, it's the value of the price at the first of Ramadan. If the value of the price,
If you had 100 stocks beginning of Ramadan last year,
yeah.
and then you sold, and they went down to 80 stocks.
No, if I sold, that's a different discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
If I sold, that's a different discussion. But at this stage, because I don't sell,
Yeah.
it's so for the stuff that I buy and hold and keep, this is where I record the milestone. If there is stuff going down and so on, then what I really do, and I try to do that as best as I can, is basically take my portfolio. Let's say last year I had 50K in my investment portfolio. I sold and bought and sold and bought and whatever. Yeah, and in the middle I added another $20,000 cash. So I look at my current portfolio today. Let's say it is 80,000. Take away the 20,000. Then I would assume it is 70,000 as a overall value. This is where I put the 2.5%.
Fair enough. So you're being more lenient, which is fine.
Yeah. But again, when you start to think about it as well, zakat is another hidden cost as well. Think about that as well. So
That's part of the diversification.
That's part of the diversification.
So buy property as well, because property
I'll debate that.
reduces. I know it does a tax.
So I become a
So you don't like properties.
لا مش not about I like properties. I like properties, but I have my own conserved. Again, if you want to get an ETF for properties, there is ETFs for property. Yes, or there is REIT property ETFs as well. So, but man, it's a lot of headache. I would say, in my opinion, it's a lot of headache. I have.
again, it's about diversification. If you're gonna put your whole portfolio in ETFs, it's also quite heavy.